Hello, I'm Kitty, known as Wildcat26 on the Feral Heart forums. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make terrain height maps for Feral Heart custom maps in Photoshop. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you is an example of your typical height map, which this is one of the height maps to one of my public maps. It's called Forgotten Desert. And this is your typical height map. As you can see, it is in grayscale. All height maps must be in grayscale in order to work on the game. And you know, this one's pretty simple. And once you get used to doing it, they're a lot easier than people say they are. At least that's what I think. And now that's your height map, and we're going to go to close that, and we're going to go into Photoshop. Now height maps are used to make hills, rivers, valleys. It makes your terrain in game not flat. It gives it terrain. So what we're going to do one here in Photoshop today, and this is how it works with height maps. Your white is your highest point or mountains, and black is your lowest point or valleys, holes. And then gray, shades of gray, is everything in between. The lighter the gray, the higher it's going to be. The darker the gray, the lower it's going to be, of course. So close this, and we're going to start out, we're going to go to File and New, blank file, and right here your height and width is going to be 513 pixels. It's going to be a square. As you can see, mine is already has that because I've been making height maps lately. And you're going to want to go to color mode and make sure it is in grayscale. Now hit OK, and this right here, this is where we're going to be making our height map. Now what I like to do personally is take your fill bucket and come over here and pick a medium gray, and what we're going to do is we're going to fill this. Now this gives you a base to work with. This is the base height of your height map. Now say if you're doing a low map with lots of low points, like say an ocean, you would want to start out with a base color more of a lighter gray, and that would give you a greater contrast to the lower points in the map. If you're doing a map with lots of mountains or hills and you wanted them to be very high, you'd start out with a much darker gray, and this would give you it gives you greater height in between points. But for most height maps, starting out with a nice medium gray works well. Now, with Photoshop, you can go over here and click your brush right here. In Photoshop, you know with Photoshop they have a whole ton of brushes. Now, you're going to have to mess around with different brushes and find something you like, and then with all the different brushes, it gives you lots of possibilities for different patterns and such, and creating different terrains. So let's start out with this one, and what we're going to do, I'll make it a little bit bigger. Okay, let's see. Now first thing I'm going to start out with is, let's start out with, this one's going to have a river, big river right in the middle, and it's going to be make it all curvy. Just like that. And there really is, there's no set way or right way or wrong way to draw up a height map. It's all personal preference. And, you know, try to picture something in your head, how you want it to look. And then go on and you try to, best you can, draw it onto your height map. And once you get in game, if you don't like it, you can always go back and edit it and change it if you want to make something different. And let's see, I'm going to make this point right here, it's going to be a little bit wider. Okay, now let's try a different brush here. But like I said, with Photoshop there are so many brushes, it can be hard sometimes to pick what to use. Alright, let's make okay. Let's see. I want more of a splattered pattern. Not that big. We're gonna make like a marshy area, of sorts, over here. We're gonna do it in this corner. And then I have a pen and tablet, which you can do this with a mouse too. And you just have to adjust your opacity. I'm going to use the mouse to do my opacity. And I'm going to make, like, this is going to be like a marshy area over here. Okay, and then let's change brushes again. The one I like this under my particular kind of Photoshop. I have wet media brushes, and there's one particular one I like because it has a rough edge to it instead of being, you know, perfectly straight and smooth. You know, in real life, how many, with the texture of the ground, or, you know, with rivers or hills, how many of them are perfectly flat and straight? Not very many.